So today is day 3 of the 30-day challenge, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I wasn't incredibly motivated to continue this 30-day challenge. Early in the morning when I woke up, right around like 7 a.m., my usual wake up time, I wasn't feeling incredibly motivated to continue this challenge, but I gotta tell you and be honest with you that like lack of motivation only lasted for about 5 seconds, because I've actually done these kind of like sprint challenges in other ways in the past, and it is really like it's the first week or so that like you think like, is it even worth it? What am I actually doing? And you start to question everything, right? But whenever that feeling starts to creep in, the way that I like to think about it, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys have seen plenty of motivational speakers and seen a bunch of different YouTube videos about the topic, so I won't bore you with that. But one book that I read a long time ago, a couple years now, was Eat That Frog, which basically, you know, it's kind of a weird title, but essentially what the book is talking about is doing the shit that sucks at the very beginning of your day, and pushing everything, like, you know, whether it's related to like something, you know, if you're lacking motivation in your creativity, in your relationship, in your finance, whatever your goals are, if you start lacking motivation, start to think of the hardest thing that is involved in completing that goal or that task for that day, and just take care of it first thing in the morning. And that's essentially the whole premise of the book. So in the morning, what I like to do is go live, or at least try to do something creative, so that I can get that like spark going. And sure enough, as soon as I started doing something that was creative, in my case, it was planning out some shots or thinking in my mind as I was showering, hey, what kind of cool shots can I get today? Because yesterday's shoot was about like filming the mundane, and I was actually able to capture and observe pretty cool scenes that, to me, I'm glad that I filmed it, because now I have it kind of archived as stock footage that I can have for my own videos. So I was thinking about that in the shower, and that like kind of satisfied the lack of motivation, because I was like, okay, I could get this angle. What if I get an angle from like me entering the bus? How can I do that if I'm by myself? What tools do I need? Anyways, all of that started to like think, and like it started getting the creative juices flowing. But even when that kind of stuff doesn't work, I can tell you that the one thing that absolutely will work without failure is consistency. Just fucking do it, dude. Just get out there and do the thing that you don't want to do. And once you get going and like the movement and the momentum sets in, you'll be surprised. It'll be over before you know it, right? So what I've been doing for these kind of daily vlogs is that throughout the day, it's kind of in the back of my mind, like, okay, what am I going to film this vlog today? I have my morning prompts. Today is consistency beats motivation. So I was thinking about that all day long, and trying to think of B-roll throughout the day that I could film that can kind of like satisfy that, while showcasing the Canon R50V and the lens right here, and kind of showing and talking about what it can actually do. And one of the things that this lens and this camera actually allows me to do is that I'm able to carry this this camera on my body all day long where I'm walking, because I have this Peak Design strap kit, and the base is obviously attached to the bottom of the camera, but I have a couple of these, and I have another one attached to my strap of my backpack. So I'm always carrying this strap, and I can just easily attach it, detach the camera. I have a tripod, so all of the things that I need to like create content, whether it's like a complex shot or something really easy, everything's very, very simple, right? So I just kind of tried my best to minimize the amount of friction it is for me to pull out my camera and actually film something. And the way that I did that is by making sure that I don't put my camera away. It's always on my hip, or it's always on my pack. Something else that kind of comes with that is, I don't know about you guys, but when I was brand new to photography 7 years ago, I felt like a real level of self-consciousness taking my camera out in public and photographing and filming people with it. I don't have that anymore because I'm used to having my camera on me now, but I've never had it on me 24/7. I've always like gone to a location from point A to point B, gotten there, unpacked my stuff, and did a job. I never actually just took my camera and had it on my hip so that I could like point and shoot at it, or shoot at a subject or an object or anything in spur of the moment. So that like feeling of self-consciousness is kind of like coming back again a little bit. But with more reps, that I'm sure that it will go away. What I think about it, please let me know down in the comments if this happens to you. If you guys are like walking down like a busy corridor or walking through like a food court, for some reason I feel like people are looking at me and looking directly at my camera, like a big old spotlight is like shining on like my side where my camera is, and like I can hear, it's all in my imagination, I can hear them like, oh, that guy has a camera, look at that camera, what's he doing with that camera, how cool does he think he is, you know, stuff like that. And like the inner monologue starts like to roll. Anyways, the feeling, it used to be a lot stronger. It definitely isn't, but it's starting to resurface again because I have my camera with me out all of the time now. Anyways, like I said, let me know down in the comments if you guys have ever felt that way. It's definitely very, very prominent. That feeling and that self-consciousness is very prominent when it comes to recording myself out in public and actually doing something like this. Today, I'm in my office, which is a fucking disaster. I don't know if you guys can see, but my other desk that I have out in my my other station in my living room that I call my studio is a mess too, just because I have so many freaking products to review. And maybe this weekend I'll actually spend some of the of these blogs kind of like organizing and bringing you guys along with me as I kind of work through this mess, because it's been here for a very, very long time. Circling back to the consistency point, it's one of the things that actually really drove my YouTube channel in the very early stages of my YouTube channel to actually get monetized a lot quicker than I ever thought possible. I made the mistake, let me back up. I had made the mistake of starting my YouTube channel on a YouTube account that I used just to browse YouTube. So my account says that it's like 15, 18 years old, but in reality, it's only like actually started publishing videos in 2020 is when I started during COVID. And I actually got monetized in like 9 months. And it's very possible that the COVID like wave of YouTube viewers like kind of propelled my channel a little bit forward, but that doesn't it still doesn't explain really the consistency part, because I still continue to post like once a week for an entire year straight, and I was able to get monetized in 9 months. What I recall from that, and I have some videos on my channel recalling you know, some of those earlier days, and if I remember correctly, I had reached the 4,000 hours. Yeah, the 4,000 watch hours way before. I reached it like in month like 5 or 6, if I remember correctly. But the actual subscribers to get that was the actual like the really hard part. That's what, well, not hard, but it took a lot longer than actually getting the 4,000 hours. And that's when I learned that in long form in YouTube, the time compounds so fast. Like right now I have a video that has like 400 views, or no, I'm sorry, it has 1,000 views and it's sitting like at 100 watch hours, something crazy like that I would never even imagine. But people are watching it. It's a 10-minute video and people are watching, I'm making up numbers right now, but it's like 10 minutes long or whatever long it is, and people watch 30-40% of it 1,000 times. That really does compound. I don't know how it's actually like, you know, collected, the numbers are like added up together, because it doesn't seem right. The numbers like don't add up. I'm sure that it does, of course. Google and YouTube are a data company, but it doesn't feel like the numbers and the hours should add up that quickly. So my message to people that are still on YouTube and are still trying to create on YouTube, and actually, if you guys happen to be a person that wants to create on YouTube, if you're a creative and likes to do gear reviews, share your photography, share your videography, I do lives several times a week where I actually take a look at people's channels, photos, and on YouTube I do it completely for free at the moment. So if you guys happen to catch my live, feel free to jump in and ask those questions. I can take a look at your channel and just give you some very basic advice. Like for example, I had a comment today It was a channel that was trying to teach, I can't even remember what they were trying to teach. They were trying to teach something like some sort of like computing language. I know nothing about computing language, but as soon as I looked at her channel, because she said my channel won't grow, was her actual comment. I looked at her channel and it was long form videos filmed vertically, and the first thing that you hear as soon as she came on, so it was long form vertical. Mistake number one, the thumbnails were like, it was all AI generated with her image on it, with a bunch of like AI generated like thumbnails. It looked awful. It was incredibly busy. And then so that's strike number two. And then the last thing was that as soon as you clicked on her video, she would say, "Hi, my name is," and her audio would immediately peak. And like, even I wasn't wearing headphones, but on my speakers, I could hear it like peaking instantly. So I gave her those three tips right there. But sometimes it's as easy as that. So if you guys are interested or need another person's perspective on it, please feel free to jump into those lives. I'd be happy to take a look at it. But I'm going to tell you the same thing that I tell everybody is you're probably not posting enough. It really is like, the more that you post, the more that you actually see the numbers going up. Because I've been monetized for a very long time, and I make roughly a little over $1, $1.50, $1.70 per day off of just AdSense. I'm not really incredibly motivated to like reach that next tier up until recently, when I'm like, hey, let's see if we can get this to $2. Let's see if we can get this to $3 per day. But anyways, I have little windows in my like last 365 days where I've had little sprints that I haven't really taken it seriously, but I've posted once a week for like 6 weeks straight or something like that, and then I kind of fall off. In those little pockets and those little windows of time, you can see clearly the data is right there. You can see that before I was dropping and being like very, very low, but as soon as I hit a little bit of a stride, the highs became a lot higher, and the lows also became significantly higher as well. So everything kind of just shifted. And sure enough, after 6 weeks, I'd fall off again. I'd start posting once a month, or I would skip a couple of months, and then everything would come back, fall down. And then I'd have another moment of inspiration, and like I would do another quick little sprint for a month and post 4 videos in a month. And then sure enough, again, boom. These past 3 days that I've made an upload every single day, it has immediately shot up my watch time, my impressions, my clicks. All of these numbers go up instantly, just in 3 days. There's a couple of other things that I've been doing in the back end, like optimizing my descriptions, optimizing my titles, A/B testing, XYZ. So I am spending a lot more time on YouTube and trying to figure all of that out. And I guess it just goes all the way back to consistency, which, like I said, is today's prompt. That's going to do it for me tonight, guys. It is day 3. Adios.